All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday night. This is a very special training, and I am so honored that we have an incredible coach, an incredible leader here to share with us tonight. So, Kristi, I did have the call with my husband that I told you about last night, and we just kind of set the stage for this and prepared, just our hearts as a team for this new sort of direction that we're taking. And so we're so excited for you to share as someone who's walked through it, what it was like for your team, what the transition was like, and just how that looks like now. So I'm going to introduce Kristi, and we're going to get right into this. So Kristi is married to Paul. They've been married for 5 years. They have 2 boxers, Callie and Stella. That's so cute. And as far as Beachbody goes, she is a superstar diamond. You guys, superstar, which means in her first business center alone, she has 15 personally sponsored diamonds and a whole bunch all throughout her organization, which just says a lot about who she is as a leader of her team. So she is a 7-time elite coach. She's in the Millions Club, okay? So she's doing something right. 98 months in Success Club, so the consistency is there. She's been helping people month after month after month all of these years, and we're just super excited to hear from you and to soak up your wisdom. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. So I have a lot to cover because when you came to me and asked me to speak, I'm like, this is a topic that I'm super passionate about, and there's a lot of different things that I've learned in the last 2 to 3 years of things that I didn't necessarily do wrong, but I just didn't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. There are things we know we don't know. Like when I got started, I knew that I didn't know how to grow a network, but I knew that I could figure it out because I was aware that I didn't know it. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you guys tonight are things that I had no idea that I didn't know. And I spent $40,000 on mentors over the last couple years to just grow and figure things out and figure out confidently as a leader, how can I help my team move forward and earn really incredible incomes, and this just be something that they love and just a community they love to be a part of. So I'm really excited to share with you guys all tonight. I'll share a little bit about my story with Beachbody. Really quickly, I grew up until the age of 8, we had everything. And that, everything, my dad was self-employed, my mom was self-employed, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She only worked a couple days a week with her business. And I rode horses, and my parents, my dad and my grandparents actually beat my mom up in front of my brother and I. We had no idea there were any issues until we saw this happen. And my dad didn't want to have to pay my mom child support of $6,000 a month back in the 90s, early 90s. So they sold everything. My dad sold off everything. He left the state and left my mom, stay-at-home mom, working a couple days a week. And we lost everything basically. So at the age of 8, I went from being actually very well off to having nothing. We lived in low-income apartments, and I would hear my mom cry herself to sleep most nights. But one night in particular, I came home and I played soccer, and I wanted $5 for the soccer tournament. And if I didn't play in the tournament, they wouldn't let me start on whatever for the big game. And I wanted to be able to start. I was a starter. And my mom was like, Kristi, I'm so sorry. I don't have $5 for a soccer tournament. That money in my purse is for your lunches. So it was a decision between, I still get teary-eyed thinking of that, of paying for my soccer tournament or paying for our lunches. And obviously lunches won out. And from that moment on, I did not ask my mom for money again. Even when yearbooks came around, I remember I had a great teacher. If you guys are teachers, you're amazing, because my teacher actually bought me a yearbook. I was the only kid in the class whose parents couldn't afford a yearbook. Everybody else had one, and my teacher got me one. So shout out to you guys who are our teachers, because I think it's such a noble profession. So fast forward, years later, I was always a really happy child, even though all this happened. Always saw the silver lining in everything. And then when I went off to college, I became depressed, suicidally, wanted to end my life, called my mom and said, I won't do it. Don't worry. I won't put you through that. I don't want you to have to cry yourself to sleep at night because of me. But there's no point for me to be here. I just don't understand. It's not even that I'm upset or angry or hurt. I wasn't even crying. I just had no emotions. I went from being a 4.0 student to not even showing up to class. And passed with C's and D's, which I had never received in my life. But in that moment when I went to counseling, they told me it was everything that I went through in my past. And I decided that I was going to fight, that I was going to figure out how to overcome depression. I did tons of research, fitness and nutrition, big answer to overcoming that. And so that's how fitness became a part of my life. And graduated college. It wasn't quick, the whole depression thing. Like even years later when I became a coach, which was 6 years after I suffered with depression in the worst times, I still was struggling with depression. So it wasn't immediate, but every year it got better as I continued to fuel my body better and learn, how to work out. And when I started working out, my workouts were 10 minutes. And if you follow me now, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's easy for you, you're fit. Like, no, I wasn't always. I gained like 40 pounds in a month. I'm really good at putting on weight. But I got a degree in finance because I wanted to figure out how to make money. And that's a horrible reason to get a degree, but I was like, I want to understand this. I don't want to have to like tell my future kids that they don't have $5 for a soccer tournament. And I never wanted my mom to feel like she wasn't enough. She doesn't have a retirement. I wanted to be able to pay for that. So I got into finance, but I realized no amount of money was ever going to make me happy being in that career. It just wasn't for me. I also realized really quickly that working for someone else wasn't for me. And if it's for you, that's totally okay. But it just was not how I was wired. I didn't want someone telling me I could only work 15 days or have 15 days off a year. Like I didn't want someone telling me what I could make. And so I am someone that did not come into this business for the fitness. I was already training for an Ironman triathlon. I was searching for this opportunity when I didn't even know this is what I was searching for. What I wanted was something that I could earn an income and make an impact. I didn't want a job where I just clock in and clock out and there's no fulfillment. Like I wanted something that mattered. And fitness and nutrition had become such a big part of my life and it had helped me overcome depression. I still had bad days, but fewer. I wanted to be able to help other people with that. And people at work were always asking me like, what are you doing for your workouts? I'm like, you don't want to do what I'm doing for my workouts. Like it took me 7 years to get there. And so when my coach invited me to coaching, I would have been the last person you probably would have thought to invite. And that's just a little tip for you guys. Don't make the decision for someone else because it looked like I had a cool job in finance. I was already fit. If you would have invited me to a challenge group, I would have turned you down because I didn't need that. So think about that when you're speaking with people. Don't make the decision for them. I always ask people, are you open to earning extra income from home? Are you open to earning extra income from home, helping others? And my coach did that. And because she came to me and offered that, she allowed me to say yes. And I was all in. Like, I was like, send me the information. I don't even know what it is, but I know I can help people. So my first month I earned $70 and I was so excited. That's a second little tip, not even to do with this training, but be super grateful for wherever you're at in your journey. Everything that has happened to you in your life up until this point happened for you. It happened for you. So many people think, oh, this is happening to me, like the world's falling apart. All of those things, my dad leaving, my mom not having the money, me going through depression, all of those things happened for me. Because I fought for solutions and to get through those, I am in the best place I could possibly imagine, living a dream life. I get to design my day every single day. And my husband and I, like when we started this, we could barely afford rent. And now like a dream that I had is to own real estate. I love real estate. It's a passion of mine. And that's something I do for passive income on the side. We have 7 real estate properties that we paid for in cash. Dream a little bigger, guys. But that, all of those things happened for me. They were happening for me. So whatever struggles you've gone through up until this point, like you now have a story of how you have overcome that, even if you're in the process of overcoming it. And that's going to allow you to turn around and help more people. That's going to allow you to relate to more people. Okay. So those are just a couple things that I wanted to share with you guys. I earned $70 my first month as a coach. You've heard the rest of it. It all sounds super cool. All of these accolades. The one thing that I will tell you is that you are no different from me. It's just that I'm consistent. Like, I do not miss a week. I have invited 100+ people every single week for 8 years. And that's 15 people a day, about 15 people a day. I don't personally invite 15 people every single day because I just don't work my business that way. So I usually do like 50 people one day, 30 people the next, 20 the next. And then I take 4 days of inviting off and just build relationships and enjoy like my business. That's just how I build. So those are a few tips for you guys. I'm consistent. And I know that the work that I do now will pay off in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years, and 8 years. And I want to have it compound faster. If you want to go at a slower rate, that's totally okay. If you want to go at a faster rate, that's awesome too. But I just knew if you've ever read The Compound Effect, when I started this business, I understood the compound effect because in finance, that's what we do. We compound interest of money. And so I understood that me inviting, like I invited 400 people my first month as a coach. 3 people told me yes. 3 people, 1 was a pity, yes. And most people would have stopped by then because they had such bad results. But I'm like, no, that's awesome. Those are 397 people that now know what I'm doing, so they're going to follow my story. And those are some of the mindset shifts that got me to where I am. You all can make those same mindset shifts. They just take time, and we all learn at different paces. So whatever your goals and dreams are with this business, they're possible. You have everything within you. Every adversity you've gone through is your advantage. Every mess you've had in your life, that's your message. I just chose to use my mess and my message really quickly in the beginning, and you all can do the same. Okay, so I'm going to dive into the training. I actually have a slideshow for you guys. Okay, 1 second. I'm not very tech savvy. Present. Can you guys see this? Yeah? Okay. So this is from Milan Jensen. I didn't create this. Milan, if you don't know who she is, she's a founding coach in Beachbody. She was coach #1. And she is also someone that I consider an incredible mentor. When I reached Diamond as a brand new Diamond coach, she reached out to me and congratulated me. And I knew who all of our founding coaches were. And I was just blown away. I was so excited. So I love her heart. So these slides are from her. They're not something that I created. And I'm going to go through a lot of stuff that's not on the slides. And if you guys do have questions, if anyone wants to unmute and interrupt me, please do, because it's going to be a lot of information, and definitely ask questions that you guys have. So the first thing is building a volume strong team. And we all know Success Club, right? And we're earning Success Club, or we push to earn Success Club. The one thing you want to know with Success Club is it's great. It's great because we have a lead program. It's an additional avenue for us to get customers from the company, leads, Shakeology leads. So there is definitely a benefit for Success Club. However, what I found I'm not sure what year it was in my business. I've been a coach for 8 years, so I'm not sure what year it was, but I started to realize that when people would miss Success Club, they would feel bad. Here's a perfect example. The other day, I had a leader on my team come to me, and she said, she's pushing for a lead, and she's like, my one coach isn't hitting Success Club. And I said, hey, could you send me your volume? What's her volume? What's her team volume? And or her personal volume. And she screenshot, and she sent me her personal volume. And I was like, girl, she has the highest volume in your team. And so there's a huge lesson here. That coach was so frustrated with her personally sponsored coach because she was like, she's not earning Success Club and not getting me to my elite goal. However, this person was the biggest builder on her team when it comes to volume, and volume is how we get paid team cycle bonuses. So that was one of her biggest producers, one of her biggest income. And if you make someone feel bad, they will leave your team. They will leave. And this is something that I learned, and I want to share with as many coaches or network marketers as I can. There are 80% of people that join your team, even if they tell you they want to build this business, 80% of people that join your team want to earn $0 to $500. Not that's what they're earning. Their desire level is to make $0 to $500. And most of that 80% is probably going to be in the $0 range, $0 to $500. That doesn't mean that their desire can't change into something different later, but they might tell you they want to build, but if their actions are showing differently, they're an 80%er at this moment. Nothing wrong with that. But what a lot of people do is they get frustrated by those 80%ers because they're saying, oh yeah, I'm going to build the business, or I'm going to do all these things, and they don't do any of it. And we get frustrated with them. But the thing is they just love being a part of the community. And if we make them feel bad for that, and they're telling you what they think you want to hear, and this is really high level stuff, guys. This took me years to figure out. But those people will tell you what they think you want to hear. They're like, Courtney, she's my coach, and so she wants me to say I want to be an Emerald coach, so I'm going to tell her that I want to be an Emerald coach, when they have no desire to actually become an Emerald coach, right? But what people do is they get frustrated. And there's a really great book if you want to understand this concept a little bit more, and it's called Leadership and Self-Deception. And he goes into that thinking of when you're frustrated with someone, even if you're not saying words that you think are negative to them, they can feel it. They can feel it. And I've watched people do that, like talk negatively about someone behind the scenes and then pretend that they're being nice to them. They think they're being nice to them, and that person quit. And I don't blame them. Like, who wants to be made to feel bad, right? Okay, so then we have our 15%ers. Our 15%ers are the people that have a desire of earning $2,000 to $3,000 a month. This doesn't mean that's what you're earning. It means you have a desire to get there and you're showing up and doing the work to make that happen, right? And then you have your 5%ers. Those are your people that want to earn $20,000 plus a month. Again, that doesn't mean that's what they're earning. That's their desire level. And people can change but this is like, historically, across all network marketing, this is what teams are made up of. And a 5%er can actually become an 80%er. I've watched people do that. They're making $20,000 to $30,000 a month. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income, but they are actually showing up as an 80%er because they don't have a desire level to earn any more than that. And so they're not doing the activities to continue building. They're just showing up maybe a little bit once in a while as a hobby coach because they like the community. They like to be a part of it, and they're getting a paycheck. None of these things are wrong, but we want to make people feel valued and have a really great culture on our teams. And this is something that as people talk about income, what comes to my mind is if our incomes aren't growing, it's because we don't have a culture where people want to stay. Because if more people want to stay, less people leave, we have less turnover. And you're going to have people that order every now and then, like that's going to be normal. So I'm going to share with you a couple things I did before I dive into this building a volume strong team. One thing I did was I actually shifted to what's called a community, like fitness and nutrition group, a community group. And what I mean by this is I went to other network marketers and other health and fitness companies. And there was this network marketer, she had been in her company for 5 years. And she out-earns our top earner by double. Let that sink in. 5 years, and she out-earns our top earner in Beachbody by double. And so I'm like, okay, this woman's doing something right. Their products are inferior. They don't even get paid better. Like their pay is worse than ours. Like we have incredible pay. We can have 25 different business centers and volume going through all these business centers, which is deep level strategy that is amazing. Like our opportunity is incredible. And theirs isn't. Like they don't even get paid any team volume until a continuity order goes through. They don't get paid it on the first time. And I'm like, and she earns double what our top earner earns. What is she doing? Like success leaves clues. What is she doing? And I talked to her and she goes, well, I build community groups. My groups have 100, 150,000 people in them. And I post something and there's 40, 50,000 comments. And I'm like, okay, how'd you build this? And she goes, well, what I did was it's free. Anybody can join. It's an ongoing group. And we built a culture where they don't call them coaches, whatever they call their people, distributors. I'm just going to say coaches. So, because that's what I do. Coaches would add people to this group and say they add 100 prospects to the group and then they disappear. We have a lot of coaches, right, that sign up and then disappear, but they do something maybe their first month. She goes, the best part is I'm building the community. I'm building the engagement, the culture, like little giveaways of free sampler packs and things. And then when Susie comments and says, hey, I want more information on this product, I tag Susie's coach and say, hey, so-and-so wants more information. Like they'll be able to, so-and-so, your coach will be able to help you. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so brilliant. She goes, well, and there's people that are in the group that are never bought a product, but add hundreds of people to this group. And think about that. I don't know if any of you are in Facebook groups, but I'm in running Facebook groups that have hundreds of thousands of people. I'm in a boxer group. I posted a picture of my boxer the other day and got 500 comments of just how cute she is and shares and likes and like all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to build a group like that. I want to build a group where even people who aren't on our team or buying our products love our culture and want to be a part of it. So they're actually bringing people to us. And then our coaches that add people and then disappear, we're tagging them and saying, because they're an 80%er, $0 to $500, and saying, hey, this person wants more information. Would you be excited if you like disappeared and your coach said, hey, your potential customer now wants info and time to get to work? Like, I'd be excited. We have coaches in there now. We just started this group and we have coaches in there that literally put people in and are now getting customers, and they never post in the group. But now that they're getting customers from the group, now they want to be visible in the group, so they've started posting. Do you see how incredible that type of community group is? So when I heard that, I was like, this is going to help my 80%ers. Because a lot of what Beachbody builds and our recognition programs focus on our 5%ers, our 15%ers, which is great, because those people are going to show up in Earn Success Club anyways. They don't actually need an incentive to do it. But if we're forgetting about our 80%ers and making them feel bad and not making them feel like they're a part of a culture, they'll leave. Okay. Any questions before I go on to the next part? Was that too much? Good? Okay. And I want to share, I'm really passionate about that topic because I want you guys to have incredible culture where people don't want to leave. Because we know people are going to quit. Like, that's inevitable. But if we make it so incredible that people don't want to leave, they can, if we keep them around that campfire, they can eventually catch a spark that pushes them into that 15% or 5% category. If we don't make them feel bad when they're off the radar. Yeah? Okay, cool. So building a volume strong team, the healthy formula. I'm going to be covering the healthy formula, a 500 plus PD coach, Emerald Tribe, and Diamond Strong. There's going to be some math in here. If you're not good at math, don't worry about it. Just look at the basics of what I teach at the beginning. I will tell you, I have coaches that have been with me for 7 years that were awful at math and understanding team bonuses and cycle bonuses. And it was just the repetition of hearing it over and over and over again, and me helping her with strategy until she got it. And it took her like 4 years. So don't worry if you don't get it on the first time that you hear this call. You don't need to know this to be successful. I earned 6 figures in my business not knowing any of this. So you guys will be just fine. I knew the basics. Some of the basics I'll share at the beginning, I did know, but some of the deeper stuff I didn't actually know. Okay, so the healthy formula, what is that? And that's our complete solution. Fitness that's fun, nutrition that's simple, and support for change, right? And when we think of that, fitness, nutrition, support, that's our challenge pack. It comes with it all. It comes with the nutrition, it comes with the fitness, it comes with Shakeology, it comes with our support, everything, which is great. Challenge packs aren't bad. Challenge packs are awesome. They get people started with the whole solution. The coach getting them started gets a bonus, which is a great bonus, depending on the pack, $50, $60, $70, $100. Like, they're great options. If you retain the customer on Shakeology or pre-workout and post-workout, the volume after that first order is incredibly high for your team. It's incredible volume that's going to get into the next part of the volume talk. But what I want you guys to understand with the healthy formula is that some people, me, I had my fitness down. When my coach invited me, if she would have said, to be a coach, you need to do our workouts and drink this shake and be in a challenge group, I would have told her, no thanks, not for me, right? So oftentimes we're so stuck in this box that we don't think of offering solutions to people that are going to help fill their healthy formula. So what my coach did was she shared with me how Shakeology had helped her in triathlons. I was a triathlete. And so I was like, perfect. I am having coffee and a donut every morning for breakfast. I'll replace that with Shakeology. And I will tell you, and I was someone that was going to send Shakeology back. And in 2 weeks, my cravings decreased. I lost 5 pounds. I ran out of my Shakeology because I was really frugal and shared half a bag with a friend. And can you imagine if my coach made me feel bad for all of this, by the way? Can you imagine if she made me feel guilty? Future multi-million club earner, and you made her feel guilty because she didn't want to do a fitness program and she was only going to share Shakeology with a friend because she didn't really believe in it. Like, you didn't let her be a part of that journey, right? So anyways, after 2 weeks, I ran out of Shakeology. I started having 3 p.m. lows. My workout started improving while I was using it. And I was like, all right, damn it, they're right. This shake works. Like, let me get more of it. So that was my journey. But when you think of the healthy formula, start asking people, like, get to know them and their goals and what they're looking for so you can fill in the missing pieces of their complete healthy formula. Someone who does CrossFit already has their fitness taken care of. They might want pre-workout and post-workout. I know they would. They need a lot of energy for those workouts. They need a lot of recover because they are sore all the time, right? So having a conversation with someone, asking them. Some people, not many, but some people have their nutrition dialed in, or they think they do. I have people all the time that are like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing with nutrition. And I'm like, your pictures don't show that. I don't think you do, but that's okay. We'll get you started with fitness because that's what you think you need help with. And then we'll move on to more as you see different results in the group. But I don't push it on them. I figure out what they want. And so part of that is I would find something to get someone started with that works for them. A perfect example is a lady messaged me the other day, and she was a customer of mine before. She got T25 on DVD years ago, has no idea about Beachbody On Demand. And she's like, and I've invited her since, but that's another thing. Make sure to invite your past customers. But she was like, hey, I'm missing DVDs. I'm like, we don't make DVDs anymore. I went and checked. There's no DVDs for T25. So I said, well, we have Beachbody On Demand. And I gave her the option of the free trial with the $40 after the 14 days is up, or the annual, the quarterly or the annual, and let her decide. Like, I empower her to be a part of that decision in her healthy formula. Do I want her on Shakeology or Energize? Yeah. Do I think she'll get great results? Yes. But she told me from the very beginning, I don't want to spend a lot of money. So when I send that share cart, I might add Energize and say, hey, I added one of my most favorite products to give you a lot of energy to get through these workouts. If you don't want it, no big deal, but just put it in there in case it's something that you think you might want, to try. The other thing with healthy formula and our solution is really don't forget about offering more to your current customers. So something that we'll even do in our team pages, we'll do a 3-day refresh team challenge where we all do 3-day refresh together. I do it, the leaders do it, they invite their teams to do it, they invite their active coaches, their inactive coaches, they go to all their current customers and invite them to do 3-day refresh. They go and invite new people, they post on their stories. So they're getting a lot of people. Like 3-day refresh is a great entry point. It creates a lot of volume. And it's also kind of like, I think 3-day refresh is like a gateway drug to Beachbody because that's something I probably would have done back in the day. I've been like, oh, quick results. Yes, please. Okay, so any questions on what I mean by healthy formula? Okay, filling in the gaps for someone, how we can offer like solutions for them based on their goals. Okay, here's a quick little, and I'll give you these slides afterwards so you guys can go through them and use them however you'd like. But this is a perfect example of the healthy formula. If they need fitness, here's 14 days for them to try, or getting the access to Beachbody on demand, or choosing a DVD, or a simple start. And then here's nutrition. We have more stuff now. Obviously, we have Ultimate Portion Fix instead of 21-day fixed portion control. So things are a little bit different. But 7-day Shakeology challenge with the sampler pack. I used to do those all the time. What I used to do is I would invite people to do a 7-day clean eating challenge. You could use Clean Week, do a 7-day clean eating challenge using Clean Week. And I would have people buy, because we didn't have sampler packs by then, I would have people buy 7 packets of Shakeology. Well, I did 6 so that I could get 6 times 4 is 24 packets. So I could get 4 people in, and I would sell my Shakeology packets because I, at the time, my husband does now, but he didn't, when I signed him up as a coach, in the beginning, he wasn't drinking Shakeology. And so I had all these extra packets. So I started doing 7-day clean eating challenges to get rid of them. And I created this system where I'd get people started with the packets, and I would then invite them to a challenge, and they would say yes. So just being creative, having fun with it, and then support. Maybe somebody needs support. That's where that free group really comes in for me. I'm not a fan of free groups. I've never liked them. I've never, and I have coaches that see incredible results with free groups. I'm not knocking them. You have to try things to figure out what works for you. Most of my coaches rock free groups, 5, 7-day challenges that are completely free. I don't. And so I started doing a 7-day clean eating challenge, and I rocked those. I love those because there was an investment. I felt like people had skin in the game. I could really get them using Shakeology each day and seeing the difference. So when it comes to healthy solutions and helping people, you want to find their gaps, but you also want to do things that are fun for you. And if you like running challenge groups, run them. If you don't, and corporate would probably kill me for saying that, I don't. I put them in my free community group, and I check in on them privately a couple times a week, but I'm posting in there. I want them to post in there and feel that community and see that support, and it's ongoing. So if somebody doesn't want to buy something, I can plop them in a free group. It's ongoing. If they bought something randomly, I can plop them in that group so that they have the support and they feel like they're a part of something. Okay, I know that's a lot of information. Everyone matters. Listen and serve people. Be a trusted advisor, and people over points. I would rather you sign up 10 people on BOD All Access or BOD 14-day free trial and help people where they're at than hit Success Club and feel frustrated because you got 3 people signed up and they all quit, right? Because that's not actually what they wanted. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that Success Club is bad. Success Club is great. It's a great incentive, a great thing to push for. But if you're helping people, don't feel guilty if you're missing it. Now, if you want to help people and you're not inviting people and you're not doing the work, that's different. You should feel guilty because you need to get doing the work. But yeah, so there's that. What does a coach do? We help people find their healthy formula. So we're helping them fill in the gaps for their healthy formula. It's that simple. We're becoming that trusted advisor for them. Okay, so 500 PV coach. This is incredible. This was mind-blowing for me. Obviously, 500 PV coach, you can see this as someone who lives the 4 vital behaviors. They know how to invite to people. They know how to engage. They know how to use the healthy formula to ask questions. They nurture their contacts, and they're product and company confident. I have a really great example of this. I just had a coach get started last month, or at the end of April, and she had 0 Success Club points in May. She had 1,000 PV in May. 1,000 PV. She's earning income. In fact, I think she earned, because a lot of them were BOD and 3-day refresh and things, I think she earned over $500. She did not earn Success Club. Could you imagine if I made her feel bad for not earning Success Club, that she might feel like a failure and stop showing up when she's really awesome? And this is a little bit deeper into strategy, but a 1,000 PV coach like that, I have 7 business centers. I had to count. And so my business centers are stacked. Her 1,000 PV, that volume went through 3 of my business centers. And if you know a little bit about volume, we're paid $18 per cycle. And a cycle happens every time you have 100 team volume in one leg and 200 team volume in the other. She was in my weak leg, that leg that has 100 volume. Every 100, it pays a team cycle. So she had 1,000, that's 10 cycles. But that was in 3 different business centers, not just one. So 10 times 18, $180 times 3. That's why getting to 2-star and having that secondary CVC is so incredible. That's why having your spouse and having them as a coach, so incredible. My husband earns 6 figures and he's a diamond coach. So you definitely want to sign those people up early on. But can you see the power of volume? And can you see where culture plays a point? Like in that culture of not making people feel bad and really celebrating whatever progress they're making in their journey. Okay, so the cool thing about 500 PV coaches is, and this is a goal that I set in our training, we have training number 1 goes about 500 PV coach. That's the first thing that we teach them. And that means that they're supporting about 6 to 10 customers. And it can be different. Obviously, if you went and got, I have to do math really quickly. Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure I give you the right information. So if I took 500 PV and I divided by 38, because that's what the team volume is for BOD, or the personal volume is for BOD, that would be 13. To get to 500 PV with BOD annual would be 13 BOD annual accesses, right? That's $40 per. That'd be $526. The coach would have 500 PV, but would have earned a $526 paycheck with 13 people. Pretty incredible. And so when I think of 500 PV, the way it really works with the healthy formula is that they're getting those 6 to 10 customers started with whatever makes sense for that customer to get them started, to get them filling that gap in their current journey. The other thing with a 500 PV coach you really want to focus on is boosting your revenue per customer, offering additional things for them, checking in on them. Oftentimes, like we get them started with a challenge pack with BOD and Shakeology, and we never mention anything else. That's why I like our community group, because if coaches forget to do that, we're in there mentioning Shakeology boosts and Energize and Recover and talking about things that we're using and sharing results. Like someone will share their story with 2B Mindset, and 3 people will be like, what's this nutrition program you're doing? And we tag their coach. Your coach can send you more info. So it really helps to boost that revenue per customer in our free group. So that's something that we focus on helping the coaches do, making it really duplicatable in that group. Okay, so 500 PV ideas. This is just a really quick menu, but if you just go to Google and type in, what did I type in today? Team volume or something. I'll have to go look what I typed in, and it'll actually show up our product and price link. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that document in the coach office. There's a products and price link document in our coach office. I think it's under forms, and it'll tell you what the personal volume for all of our programs and products are. And so you can use that as an idea of like, oh my gosh, here are all these programs and different products that we can offer to people. And that's something I actually send my coaches in their first training video, is that document, so that they understand that there are more solutions than what they just got started with, so they can offer people different things. So here are some just ideas. The boost, Shakeology boosts are a great way. Clean Week, Beachbody On Demand, Activate Multivitamin. It's really great if you guys don't use it. The reset, the 3-day refresh, or the ultimate reset, daily sunshine, groups you can lead, of course, challenge groups, free groups, Clean Week. We've kind of talked about that. VIP customer group, which is what we've done, but we've created more of a prospect group as well, to add value to those people and to keep them around our campfire, because you never know if they're gonna, like, some of my customers are adding people to the group, and so I'm getting new prospects without having to go out and find them. That's pretty cool, right? So I'm loving that and having fun with it. So here's an idea of, if somebody is a fan of energy drinks, Energize a great product for them. Busy moms, beach bars, so they have them in their purse for themselves, for the kids. Clean Week is a great idea if people are returning from a vacation, recover. If they're like, I'm a runner, my husband's a cyclist, we are recover addicts. So there, lots of people that are already into fitness are going to love Recover. Fixate, Portion Plan, or 2B Mindset, Shakeology, different ideas of becoming a trusted advisor based on people's goals. So now we're getting into the volume talk a little bit, and this is something that, of course, this graph is like best case scenario, and we know that's not how people work because we've talked about the 80 percenters. But what is an Emerald Tribe? An Emerald Tribe is your coach, your new coach you become a 500 PV coach. You make sure that you have that 500 PV. You have 6 to 12 raving fans, raving customers. You sponsor 2 people that are also 500 PV coaches. That's the gist. You sponsor 2. So it's essentially finding 2 people that are going to be business builders with you, which the cool thing about that is those people are also going to be those 2 people that get you to 2-star diamond, or your spouse's business center and another person, to build the business together, to do this together, right? So this is you plus 2. And the cool thing about this is then your Emerald is solid because they are going to teach their coaches, their 2 business builders that they find. And obviously that can take time. I didn't have any business builders in my first 2 years. I sponsored a lot of coaches. I sponsored probably 3 coaches a month. And I mean, some would dabble for a little bit and build for a little bit, and then they would go off. But I will tell you, some of them, I didn't know that I was doing this, but some of them to this day still have 500 PV. They're still earning customers and income to this day, 8 years later. Isn't that pretty cool? Because they got a customer base early on. And so do you think they're going to leave? No, because they're 500 PV coach earning income every month, and they're still ordering their Shakeology, and it's completely being covered, and they're earning income. So this 500 PV Emerald Tribe that you see is 15 coaches on the team, and they all have 500 PV. That's $7,500 in volume. That's going to pay you. This person's not even diamond yet. They're Ruby. This is a Ruby coach, but they are solid Ruby, right? And they're earning income because of the volume. Now, oftentimes you're going to get to Emerald or Ruby or Diamond, and it's going to be rocky. I have new business centers. My brand new business center is rocky. It's not a solid diamond. It does not look like this. There are not a bunch of coaches earning 500 PV because I'm still sponsoring people to find those people that do want to become those 500 PV coaches that are building this business. Hold on. Classic diamond coach. So this is what I was just talking about. This is pretty much my business right now. It's a little bit better than this because I have 1,000 on one leg and 500 to 1,000 on the other leg. So it's a little better, but it's still rocky. Rocky meaning that the emeralds aren't solid if they're people having the 500 PV. So this is a classic diamond coach. If you're just signing up coaches and everybody has 90 PV, that is $50 in team cycle bonuses, $54 in team cycle bonuses. This is the 500 PV diamond coach. 3,000 volume on one leg, 3,000 on the other. That's $360 in cycle bonuses. Because you're a 500 PV coach, she's saying 25% would be your income on the 500 PV, with about $125, which that's the low end. Obviously, if it was all BOD orders from that 500 PV, it would be more. It would be closer to $500 in income. So this is a low projected income from this 500 PV coach model. And then here's one of Diamond Strong building emerald tribes, meaning we go back to this emerald tribe. Can you imagine that emerald tribe? So you see how there's 3,500 on one leg, 3,500 on the other, and then the person has the 500 themselves. So it's 7,500 total volume. So if you had 8 of those, 8 emerald tribes would be $3,600 in team cycle bonuses. 12 emerald tribes would be $5,400 a month in team cycle bonuses. And so obviously this is like kind of mind-blowing. But if you go back to the very first, I missed this slide. So you go back to this slide, which is perfect because now we can go back to it and break it down. The first goal is for you to have 500 PV coach customer base. When you have that customer base, you teach your new coaches, your emeralds, your one coach on each leg to do the same. They teach that to their personally sponsored. So can you see how you don't even have to sponsor that many people if everyone on your team had 5 to 12 customers, right? Okay, so the first steps are healthy formula. Really helping people get started with wherever they're at with whatever they need, instead of just pushing a challenge pack. If it makes sense, the challenge pack is the best option. If it makes sense, get them started with a challenge pack. But if it's not, what else is going to help them? So many people have digestion issues. So many people. Of course, we know Shakeology is great for that. It helps with my IBS. However, we also have a digestive boost. So if someone doesn't want to pay for Shakeology, get them started with the digestive boost. Or if you look at Ultimate Reset, there's a ton of Ultimate Reset products that are for digestion that help with healthy gut. Like, so you can help people and find something that's going to work for them. So that's healthy formula. You become a 500 PV coach, and you teach your coaches to become a 500 PV coach and get to Emerald. And if you build these Emerald tribes, your diamond is going to be that much more solid, but you're all going to be earning income together as a team. Okay, so let me exit. And how do I stop the sharing? Stop share. There we go. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information, but really bringing it down, it's you helping people where they're at. You finding that best solution. You know, if I did this thing the other day in my team, I shared with them, I was like, if you got 10 people started a month on BOD every single month, and you did that for like 5 years, I know that's kind of a crazy thing to think about, but it's such a low entry. We build such a subscription business that, like, I went through and did the math, and somebody would be earning like $300,000 a year in like Beachbody annual, just on-demand subscriptions. And the retention rate for Beachbody On Demand is super high. And when people get started with Beachbody On Demand, they are way more likely, like, I don't even know it's a really high retention rate. And they stick with it, but then they start to learn about the other programs and products, and it's kind of like a gateway to something else, to getting them to start something else. Well, can you imagine if you started them with a challenge pack and they just didn't do anything because they're too overwhelmed and they think they spent too much money, and they just don't start with anything, right? So I'll even try to get, like, can I get 10, 15, 20 people on a free trial this month? And like, I go for that because I'm like, those people on that free trial, I help them get results. They're going to become raving customers, and then I can increase the revenue per customer. Okay. There were a lot of tips, a lot of information. So any questions?
Thank you. Seriously, it's just so eye-opening. Like, Larry and I have been digesting this for a good, close to a week, where it's still like, oh my goodness. But it's like, once your eyes are open, it's just so neat. And one of the things I was talking about last night is how it's important to know this information as business owners, and like, the more you kind of get to know it, the more you then can, know how to help people best. So it's also eye-opening. And one question that I do have is, so you add people into your community, how do you keep track of them with so many people coming in, of the ones that did say yes to you and now it's time to actually support them? Can you talk to us a little bit more about how the community goes? For instance, I have a community, it's not free people, but anybody's welcome that's purchased anything. So similar concept where it doesn't necessarily have to be a challenge pack. But once you have all those people coming in, just how do you manage all that and serve them well?
Yeah, great question. So what we really focus on is, I don't have to be the one serving them. It's creating that culture that they don't ever want to get out of. And so in a couple things that we do is post, like we post at the beginning of every month, like whose birthday's in June, like comment below and we'll celebrate you with GIFs or gifts or however you guys say it. I don't even know. And so everybody comments their birthday. They're like excited just to be in the group, even if they're not working out. Even if they haven't worked out for months, you want to keep them around the campfire so that they can catch that spark. But if you're not keeping them around the campfire, they're not going to see any of your posts to catch the spark in the first place, right? So that first thing is, I don't have to. Like, my customers are in there and they barely reach out to me and they're adding people to the group. Like, that's how you know, like, it's incredible culture. Because they know they can reach out to me. They know they can ask questions. And you could create a list of everyone you personally add to the group. I don't, because if somebody asks a question in there, I can click and see who added them to the group. And so if they're asking for information, we always point them back to their coach. And what's really crazy is when the other network marketer shared this with me, a lot of people sitting around were so hesitant, like lack mindset, right? Instead of abundance mindset. They're like, no, because somebody's going to steal my customers, or, just all these things. And I was like, no, this is brilliant. This is amazing. And when I rolled it out to my team, a lot of my leaders didn't jump on board. They're like, nope, someone's going to take my customers, some blah, blah, blah. The group, because I've created that culture of tagging the coach, people who aren't even coaches will say, the person that added you to the group can help you. And I'm like, and that's what she had told me. She's like, if you create that culture, people will come in and they'll know to comment, your coach can help you. Your coach can help, like, guide you to that. But it's more about, like, we don't have to be the person for everyone. In fact, one of the biggest things I've learned in the business is we try to become experts. Like, we need to be the best coach support system for every single person that comes in. And that doesn't necessarily empower them on their journey, because we can't pull people along. Like, we can't make somebody invite to their business. We can't make somebody do the workouts, right? They have to have enough accountability and empowerment within themselves to push play and do the workout, or to open their computer and invite someone, or go out into the world and invite someone. And if your customers are looking at you and thinking, I can't do what she does, they won't sign up as a coach because you're too good. And that was mind-blowing to me when my mentor, he's a top earner in another network marketing company, when he told me, he's like, your language here and here is so good. They look at you as an expert and they're like, oh, I can't beat Kristi. I can't do what she does. And that was like, and one of my coaches even posted recently something in one of her Facebook posts, and she almost had someone not sign up with her because it said one-on-one coaching. And the person's like, I don't want one-on-one coaching. So with your customers, if you're afraid of that, ask them what they need. Do they need one-on-one? Do they need you checking in on them each week? And if you want to offer that, you totally can. But think about that, because if you're giving them hours of your time, they're going to be like, I can never be a coach and do what she does because I don't have that much time. Because then the business becomes not duplicatable. And it really is like inviting people. Guys, I can invite 15 people in 15 minutes because I don't overthink it. right? And that's super duplicatable. When I bring a new coach in, the only thing that is going to hold them back is themselves, because what I do can be duplicated. So that's another thing to ask yourself as you're growing your team and as a leader, is what I'm doing in my business right now, is that duplicatable? Like, I see some leaders out there, and it's okay if you're doing it, if you enjoy it, keep doing it, but that are doing like 20 stories a day. And I'm like, oh, hell no, that's not happening in my house. Like, I want to be living my life. I don't want to be doing 20 stories a day. And if you're doing 20, that's totally okay. That's the beauty of the business. You can do it, but also think of how that's being perceived by the people that are following you. Are they thinking, well, I can't do 20 stories? Like, I love when I have 3 to 5 and they're super simple and I put them all up within 2 minutes, because if my coaches see that, they're like, oh, Kristi's successful. I can do better than her. And I didn't get that. Like, I was already a 15-star diamond coach, and Brigitte Linford said that to me. She goes, I like my challenge groups to suck, so that my coaches, when they're in them, think, I could do this better than her. She's successful. And I was like, why would you do that? Why would you dumb down like how good you are at something? And then I realized, oh wait, because hers is duplicatable. So in challenge groups, if I do run one, I use the challenge group guides. I use what's in our coach office, because then a coach comes in and they're like, how do I run this? Oh, I use the challenge group guide that's in the coach office. So now when they sign up a coach, oh, I use the challenge group guide that's in the coach office. So much more duplicatable than some like, this is what I do and this is how I come up. And I have coaches that have beautiful challenge groups, incredible posts, and they can't sign up coaches because everybody's like, they can sign up discount coaches, but not builders, because people look at them and they're like, I can't do what she does. Different thought, right? And I think that's where some people, as they're building their business, are like constantly like hitting their heads against a wall, because they either make people feel bad when they're not hitting Success Club instead of meeting them where they're at, keeping them around the campfire, making them feel valued, or they're trying to do everything so perfect that people look at them and they're like, I can't be them, so I can't duplicate what they're doing, so I just won't do it. And, I've never, and if you post photos with cool filters, that's cool. You can keep doing it. I know it's marketing. It's great. I don't. Because if I do, then every new coach that I bring in, and I bring in about 10 a month, sometimes 15, they're all going to go do that. They're all going to go worry about their filters instead of going and connecting and inviting people and helping people find a healthy solution. Okay, sorry, lots of info, I know.
Please do not apologize, and please do not stop talking. Just kidding. That is amazing. My last question is, so are you the main one posting? So this is for your whole downline, open to your downline. Are you the main one posting? So everybody kind of just posts as they want to. It's just like a...
So when I started, I was the main one posting.
Okay.
Because my leaders were like not on board with this. And I knew that we had to, as a culture change, because I hear, like, I'll come across people that sign up with me as a customer, and they're like, yeah, I didn't want to sign up with this other coach because they like pretty much told me I could only buy this to be in their group, or I couldn't be in their group. And I'm like, my heart sinks, because that makes that person feel bad about Beachbody and the coaches and what we do before they even get started, right? When you walk into a gym and you're paying your gym membership, that gym owner doesn't care if you come 1 day a week, or if you come 5 days a week, or if you come once a month. You walk in the door and they treat you the same way. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the gym. Whatever their little spill is that they give. Like, think about it in a church. When you walk into a church, does the pastor treat the person that tithes the most better than the person who doesn't? No. He treats everybody like they're somebody. And I think that's where there's a culture breakdown. Like, I get it. Like, if you want to run your groups and you're hardcore, and I used to do that. I used to make people buy things. And you could do that. You could still do that. You could still say, this is my small group for 5 or 10 people, and this is what you have to buy for this group. There's nothing wrong with that if you want to build your business that way. But I personally want to create a culture where people don't want to leave. And I want to create a culture where everybody that's in that group, even if they've never bought a thing, are like, these people are cool. And I just want to stay here. And I want my friends to experience this. And I want other people to be a part of this, because that one person that never buys something could introduce me to 100 new people. And 2 of those people could be the next 15 Star Diamond coaches. But if we're so focused on controlling and lack and not creating that community, and I think we're the best community around. What we have to offer, the opportunity, the fitness, the health, being able to earn an income while working on your health, like brilliant, so amazing. And we have such growth mindsets. You know, we want to grow. We're focused on this growth journey. And I want people to be around people like us, not out there in the world. Because there are so many negative people out there in the world, and they talk. Negative people talk. And so there's a lot of negative energy out there because the positive people aren't talking loud enough. There are actually more positive people in this world, but they're not talking loud enough. But as coaches, we do. We're sharing our story. We're sharing our growth journey. And if we do that all together in one place, and we're bringing more people into that group, into that culture, we can affect more incredible change.
And then at the end, we all win. Seriously, Team Beachbody, like we're on the same team. And if we're all doing that, then that's going to help us all win. So anybody else have any questions? Don't be shy. We'll wrap it up.
I don't have questions. I just think it's crazy. Like, it's almost like you've cracked the system, or, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we've all been taught, like, from the beginning to focus on, like, the Success Club points and stuff. Like, so I've been a coach since, like, 2012. And so that's been, like, a big thing. And it's, like, 7 years later. And I'm like, why isn't this way a way that's, like, it makes me wonder how the other coaches would be out there, like, making income and, like, not quitting. You know what I mean? It's just
right. For not feeling bad.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I think that's a shift that we're kind of in this transition area right now. And I was so glad that you asked me to speak, because I'm like, this is something I'm so passionate about. And if I can help more teams, like, this took me years to kind of, like, piece it all together and figure it out. I was kind of in this spot of, like, I've helped my team. We have a lot of incredible income earners and people who have all left their jobs and things, and it's great. But how do I help more people? I was like, how do I help those people that do want to earn $300, $400, $500 a month? Because, guys, that was me in the beginning. Like, my second month, I earned $800, and it changed my life. And so I know what $500 a month, $250 a month means to so many people. But how do we help them, right? And as I pieced all this together from different mentors, it just, like, all of a sudden came together, and I'm like, I understand it now. Like, it all makes sense. And we have to go through those things because that's part of our growth journey. We don't know what we don't know, right? And that's why we go through it, because then we get to share it with other people.
I agree. I love that. It's so easy to, like, beat myself over the head, because I'm like, I'm responsible for the stress that they were feeling, you know, because that's what I felt. So I put that on them. Like, this is how we succeed, right? We know what our purpose is. So it's not like we're necessarily emotionally attached, but we get tempted to do that. We get tempted to get down on what's not being measured and recognized as successful. So it's easy to kind of feel that guilt. But like you said, you kind of, when you know better, you do better. And we're going to do better. And we're all fired up and excited to just help more people and meet them where they are. So thank you so much.
I love it. Oh, I wasn't sure how deep to go, so I know it was a lot, but I'm glad you guys got something out of it.
I'm going to share the recording, and I bet we're all going to, like, watch it over and over again and take notes. So thank you again. And enjoy your trip. When do you leave?
Well, we go up to Tahoe for a day, Wednesday. It's kind of weird. We have to go up and do some stuff, and then we go next week. So we'll leave next week. Yeah.
All right. Well, be safe. Can we take a selfie?
Yeah, of course. I'm all sweaty. I need to go shower.
All right. She texted me. She was like, I'm not showered. I was like, you're welcome here. All right. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great night, everyone.